I pushed green beans around my plate while Dad launched into his annual Thanksgiving lecture about my life choices. 7 years, Lauren. 7 years you've been sitting in coffee shops typing away on that laptop. When are you going to accept reality and get a real job? The entire family was gathered at my parents' house. Mom, Dad, my older sister Melissa, her husband Brad, my younger brother Tyler, Aunt Carol, Uncle Steve, and both sets of grandparents. 23 people crammed around extended tables, all witnesses to my public humiliation. Tom, maybe we shouldn't discuss this at dinner, Mom said half-heartedly, though her expression suggested she agreed with every word. No, it needs to be said. Dad set down his fork with finality. Lauren is 31 years old. She lives in a studio apartment. She drives a 12-year-old Civic. She has no retirement savings, no property, no career advancement. Meanwhile, Melissa is a senior accountant making $90,000 a year. Actually, I got promoted, Melissa announced proudly. I'm managing director now. $112,000 plus bonuses. The table erupted in congratulations. Grandma actually clapped. Uncle Steve proposed a toast. See. Dad gestured at Melissa. That's what success looks like. Real job, real title, real money. Not sitting in Starbucks pretending to be a tech entrepreneur. I checked my phone discreetly. The acquisition closing was scheduled for 3 p.m., 23 minutes from now. Everything was on schedule. Lauren, are you even listening? Dad's voice sharpened. Put that damn phone away. This is a family dinner. Sorry. I slipped it back into my pocket. What were you doing anyway? Tyler asked. Checking Facebook. Playing games. Just work stuff. The table erupted in laughter. Even Grandma joined in. Work stuff, Uncle Steve repeated, wiping his eyes. That's rich. Lauren, honey, updating your blog isn't work. I don't have a blog. Whatever it is you do on that computer, Dad said dismissively. It's not real work. Real work is what Melissa does. What Brad does. What Tyler does. He pointed at my brother. Tyler's been at his accounting firm for 2 years and he's already up for promotion. Because he understands what real career progression looks like. Tyler had the decency to look uncomfortable. Dad, I'm sure Lauren's projects are important. Projects? Dad laughed bitterly. She calls them projects. I call them a waste of 7 years and a Stanford education. I'd founded Dataflow Solutions 7 years ago with 2 classmates from Stanford's computer science program. We'd built enterprise workflow automation software, tools that helped companies streamline their operations, reduce redundancy, and optimize processes. Our first client had been a small consulting firm. Our second had been Deloitte. We now served 840 enterprise clients across 38 countries. Last year we generated $340 million in revenue. Our software processed over $12 billion in business transactions daily. And 3 weeks ago, Microsoft had offered to acquire Dataflow Solutions for $850 million. The deal was closing in 18 minutes. What exactly do you do all day? Aunt Carol asked with genuine curiosity. I've never really understood. I build software for businesses, I said simply. Like apps. Grandpa asked. Sort of. Enterprise software that helps companies automate their workflows and operations. And people pay you for this? Uncle Steve's skepticism was palpable. Yes. How much? Dad challenged. Come on, Lauren. You've been doing this for 7 years. What's your annual income? Let's hear it. The table went silent, everyone watching me with a mixture of pity and judgment. I'd rather not discuss specific numbers, I said quietly. Because there aren't any numbers to discuss, Dad said triumphantly. You're broke. Admit it. You've been chasing this tech fantasy for 7 years and you have nothing to show for it. I wouldn't say nothing. Then what? He spread his hands. Show me proof. Show me something concrete. Show me anything that proves this wasn't a complete waste of time. My phone buzzed. A text from Robert, our CFO. 15 minutes to closing. Legal team standing by. Microsoft's team is in position. Everything ready on our end. Still on that phone, Mom said disapprovingly. Lauren, this is family time. Whatever silly game you're playing can wait. It's not a game. Then what is it? Melissa leaned forward. Seriously, Lauren. We're all curious. What could possibly be so important that you're glued to your phone during Thanksgiving dinner? Before I could answer, the doorbell rang. Who could that be? Mom looked annoyed. Everyone's already here. I'll get it, I said, standing quickly. Dad called after me. Lauren, if you invited some boyfriend to avoid this conversation. I opened the front door. Standing on the porch was Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, flanked by two senior executives I recognized from our negotiations. Jennifer Williams, Microsoft's Chief Acquisition Officer, and Thomas Park, Head of Enterprise Software. Ms. Richardson, Satya said warmly. I apologize for the intrusion. But given the significance of today's closing, I wanted to deliver the final documents personally and welcome you to the Microsoft family face-to-face. Behind me I heard someone gasp. Of course, I said. Please come in. They entered, carrying leather portfolios and moving with the confident ease of people who'd closed billion-dollar deals before. The entire family had frozen, forks suspended mid-air, mouths hanging open. I hope we're not interrupting, Jennifer said politely, though her slight smile suggested she knew exactly what they were interrupting. Not at all. Everyone, this is Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. Satya, this is my family. The silence was profound. Wonderful to meet you all, Satya said graciously. You must be very proud of Lauren. Dataflow Solutions is one of the most impressive enterprise software companies I've encountered in my career. The technology she's built is truly revolutionary. Dad's face had gone chalk white. I'm sorry, Mom managed. Dataflow Solutions? The company Lauren founded 7 years ago, Jennifer explained, setting her portfolio on the coffee table. We've been in acquisition negotiations for the past 8 weeks. Microsoft is purchasing Dataflow for $850 million. The deal closes in, she checked her watch, 11 minutes. 850. Melissa couldn't finish the sentence. $1 million, Thomas confirmed. Lauren owns 62% of the company. After taxes and distribution, her personal proceeds will be approximately $420 million. Uncle Steve made a choking sound. The beauty of this acquisition, Satya continued, addressing the room like he was at a shareholders meeting, is that Dataflow's technology integrates perfectly with Microsoft's enterprise suite. Lauren's workflow automation tools are years ahead of the competition. We've been trying to develop similar capabilities internally, but frankly, Dataflow does it better. He turned to me with genuine respect. You've built something remarkable, Lauren. We're honored to bring Dataflow into the Microsoft family. Thank you, I said simply. Jennifer pulled documents from her portfolio. We need your final signature on 3 documents. Then we'll wire the funds according to the agreed schedule. $600 million at closing, $250 million at the 6-month milestone. She spread the papers on the coffee table. I read through each one carefully while my family watched in stunned silence. Everything was in order. I signed all 3 documents. Congratulations, Satya shook my hand. Welcome to Microsoft. Your team starts the integration process Monday, correct? That's right. We're excited to get started. As are we. He smiled at my family. Thank you for sharing your Thanksgiving with us. And again, you should be incredibly proud. Lauren is going to reshape enterprise software over the next decade. The 3 Microsoft executives showed themselves out. The door closed behind them. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. I walked back to my seat at the table and picked up my fork. Where were we? Oh right, Dad was explaining how I've wasted 7 years and have nothing to show for it. Dad's mouth opened and closed like a fish. $420 million, Tyler whispered. After taxes. Actually, it's a bit more complicated, I said conversationally. The $850 million is the purchase price. But there are earn-out provisions based on revenue targets. If Dataflow hits its projections over the next 3 years, total proceeds could reach $1.2 billion. My share would be about $590 million after taxes. I don't understand, Mom said faintly. You said you built software. You didn't say you built a company worth. You never asked. You spent 7 years telling me to stop playing with computers and get a real job. You never once asked what Dataflow actually did, how many clients we had, or what our revenue was. But you live in a studio apartment, Aunt Carol said, as if this disproved everything. I own the building. It's a 12-unit property in Palo Alto. I bought it 4 years ago for $8 million. Current value is around $14 million. I live in the penthouse and rent out the other units. The 12-year-old Civic? Brad asked weakly. I also have a Tesla and a Mercedes. But the Civic has good gas mileage and I don't like drawing attention. Most of my clients don't care what I drive. They care about results. Melissa was staring at me like I'd grown a second head. But I make more money than you. I'm the successful one. She couldn't finish. You make $112,000 a year. That's excellent, Melissa. You should be proud. I took a bite of turkey. Last year my salary from Dataflow was $2.8 million. Plus stock dividends of about $15 million. The silence was deafening. Why didn't you tell us? Dad's voice was barely audible. I tried. 3 years ago I invited you all to Dataflow's Series B funding celebration. We just raised $80 million at a $300 million valuation. Dad, you said you were too busy to attend a computer party. Mom, you said you didn't understand tech stuff. Melissa, you said it sounded boring. I set down my fork and looked at each of them. 2 years ago I was featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 list. I sent you the article. Nobody mentioned it. Last year I testified before the Senate Commerce Committee about enterprise software regulation. I called to tell you about it. Dad, you said, that's nice, and changed the subject to Tyler's promotion. We didn't know it was important, Mom whispered. You didn't care. There's a difference. You decided I was a failure and nothing I said would convince you otherwise. You needed me to fail so you could feel superior about your conventional career choices. Dad's face crumpled. Lauren, I was trying to protect you. I didn't want you to waste your life. I didn't waste anything. I built a company that serves 840 clients in 38 countries. I employ 420 people who depend on me for their livelihoods. I've created technology that processes $12 billion in transactions daily. Microsoft just paid $850 million because what I built is that valuable. I'm sorry, he said, tears streaming down his face. I'm so sorry. We were wrong about everything. Yes. You were. I stood up and gathered my coat. Where are you going? Mom asked desperately. We haven't even had dessert. I have a closing celebration with my team in an hour. We're flying to Seattle tomorrow to start the Microsoft integration. I need to go. Lauren, please, Melissa said. Don't leave like this. We want to celebrate with you. We want to be part of. You had 7 years to be part of it. 7 years to ask questions, show interest, support my work. You chose to mock me instead. At every holiday, every family gathering, every single conversation, you treated my life's work like a joke. I picked up my purse. But we're family, Grandma said, speaking for the first time. Family forgives. Family also supports. Family believes. Family asks questions before passing judgment. I looked at her steadily. You spent 7 Thanksgivings watching Dad humiliate me at this table. You never once defended me. You laughed along with everyone else. I walked to the door. Lauren. Dad's voice cracked. What do we need to do? How do we fix this? You can't. Some things once broken stay broken. The closing celebration was at the Battery in San Francisco. 300 guests. My team, our investors, key clients, industry colleagues. The mood was electric. Champagne flowed. People kept coming up to congratulate me, to thank me, to express amazement at what we'd built. My phone buzzed constantly. Texts from every family member. Voicemails from Mom crying. An email from Dad with the subject line, I failed you as a father. I read the first line, I see now how blind I was to your success, and deleted it. Melissa sent a Facebook message, Lauren, I'm sorry I dismissed your work. I'm sorry I competed with you instead of supporting you. I'm sorry I needed you to fail. Please forgive me. I archived it without responding. At midnight, standing on the rooftop terrace overlooking the San Francisco Bay, my co-founder Amy found me. Your family, she asked. Not answering. Good. She handed me a fresh glass of champagne. They don't deserve you. They never did. Amy had been there from the beginning. She'd watched me come to team meetings after devastating family dinners. She'd heard me on phone calls where Dad told me to give up. She'd seen me cry after holiday gatherings where everyone treated my success as imaginary. 7 years, I said quietly. 7 years of building something extraordinary while they told everyone I was a failure. And now they want back in. Now that Microsoft has validated what they refused to see. Now that my success is too big to dismiss. Are you going to let them? I looked out at the glittering city. Somewhere out there, my family was probably still sitting at that Thanksgiving table trying to process what had happened. Trying to reconcile the daughter they'd mocked with the CEO Microsoft had just acquired for $850 million. No, I said finally. Some doors close forever. Some relationships break so completely that the pieces can't be put back together. No regrets. I thought about it. Really thought about it. No regrets. They had 7 years to choose me. 7 years to believe in me. 7 years to see me for who I really was. They chose not to. They chose mockery, dismissal, and public humiliation instead. I raised my glass to the San Francisco skyline. They made their choice. Now they live with it. 6 months later, Dataflow's integration with Microsoft was complete. Revenue had increased 120%. Our technology was now embedded in every Microsoft enterprise product. Industry analysts were calling it the most successful acquisition integration in Microsoft's history. I'd bought a house in Pacific Heights for $22 million. I'd donated $50 million to Stanford's computer science department. Forbes had put me on their cover with the headline, "The Founder They Underestimated." The article detailed everything. The family dinners. The mockery. The CEO showing up with acquisition papers. The whole story went viral. Dad called after the article published. I didn't answer. Mom sent a letter to my office. I returned it unopened. Melissa tried showing up at my house. Security turned her away. Tyler, who'd been the least cruel, sent one final text. "I understand why you won't talk to us. I just want you to know I'm sorry. I should have defended you. I should have asked about your work. I should have seen you. I failed as a brother. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I see my failure now." I read it 3 times. Then saved it without responding. Because some apologies come too late. Some damage is too complete to heal. They'd had 7 years to see me. 7 years to ask questions. 7 years to support rather than mock. They'd chosen mockery. And I'd chosen success. We both had to live with those choices. I just happened to be living with mine in a $22 million house, with a $420 million bank account, and a career that had reshaped enterprise software. While they lived with the knowledge that they'd destroyed their relationship with me because they couldn't see past their own limited definition of success. Dad had been right about one thing. Actions have consequences. He just never imagined those consequences would apply to him.